Shalom, all praises, honor, and glory unto Yahweh, Ba'asham Yahweh Shai, Ba'asham Rakak Wedash. Double honors to the elders and the apostles of the great millstone, and salutations to all you sincere Ken. And this is the book of 2nd Ezra 6, verse 27. For evil shall be put out, and deceit shall be quenched. And right now, with the raising up of the men of the Lord, like the precept for that is Ezekiel the 37th chapter, where the dry bones, which the dry bones represent our people, have been raised up again. And now, because you have been raised up, the deceit that has gone over the whole world, which the scriptures call the covering cast, right? So the covering cast that has been spread all over the whole world has been destroyed. So let's get that. So this is the book of Isaiah 25, verse 6. And in this mountain shall Yahweh of hosts make unto all people a feast of fat things, a feast of wines on the lees, of fat things full of marrow, of wines on the lees well refined. And he will destroy in this mountain the face of the covering cast over all people, and the veil that is spread over all nations. He will swallow up death in victory, and at the one Yahweh will wipe away the tears from off all faces, and the rebuke of his people shall take away from off all the earth. For Yahweh hath spoken it, and this precept applies only to the Israelites, right? The so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Latin American Indians. Okay. And the major thing that has been taken away, has been quenched, is the deception, the lies that has been spread by Esau Edom, which is the so-called red man that is ruling over the earth today. Because we are all aware of, all the deceit and we are all aware of all the deceit and the lies, but basically, how did Esau Edom, the so-called red man, come into power? How did he become the ruler of the earth, right? As it is written, and let's get that. That should be in the book of Ecclesiasticus. Through unrighteous dealings, Ecclesiasticus 10 verse 8, because of unrighteous dealings, deceits and lies, injuries and riches got by deceit, the kingdom is translated from one people to another, and that is how Esau Edom came into power through deceit, by the power of the tongue, which is one of the blessings that the Most High Yahweh Hashem Yahushai gave him. Okay, so what I want to now, I want to go to Revelation 21, and I want to get this precept. Revelation 21, okay, Revelation 20, Salakia. Revelation 20, verse 1. And I saw an angel come down from heaven, having the key of the bottomless pit and a great chain in his hand. And he laid hold on the dragon, that old serpent, which is the devil and Satan, and bound him 1,000 years, and cast him into the bottomless pit, and shut him up, and set a seal upon him, that he should deceive the nations no more, till the 1,000 years should be fulfilled. And after that, he must be loosed a little season. And the emphasis you want to get here is to deceive the nations. And we know who this Satan, dragon, old serpent is. It is Esau Edom, the so-called red man, that is ruling over the earth today. Okay, going all the way back to Cain and Abel in the book of Genesis, right? And this whole people, this whole nation has taken up, as soon as they came into power, as soon as they came back into power during the Renaissance, began to push their deceit throughout the whole earth. First and foremost, by iconoclasm, painting over the image of the judges and of the ancient peoples of the world, because the first thing you learn, okay, the first thing you uncover when you dig into, the system of Edomite supremacy, which is exactly what it is. You have um, different people that will say, well, it's white supremacy. There is no such thing as white people, or because rather it is so-called white. They give themselves that racial designation or that group name in 19. It's like another 19, but 16 in the late 1600s, right? And that research has even already came out that before that time there was no such thing as white people on the earth. So what you'll find out is that this system of Edomite supremacy, and it began with painting and changing the image of Jake in rulership, right, from the Dark Ages, from the Dark Ages, going back to Rome, going back to the ancient world. Majority of these heavy historical figures that you see, they were either dark-fleshed people or Israelites, okay? But mainly, majority of them were dark-fleshed people, because if you let these devils tell it, Esau Edom had always been in power in one way, shape, or form. But the reality of the matter is that up until that is the late 300 BC or early 300 BC, but basically 380 BC or so, when Alexander the Greek came into power, Esau Edom had never been in power. In fact, they had always been at the bottom, right? And even the scriptures tell you exactly how they were base men, right? The lowest of people on the earth. And now when they came into power, they now made it seem as though they were the greatest people on the earth, that they are the light of the world. And basically what they did is, let's get that, Job 9 verse 24. Because when the scriptures in the book of Job 9 verse 24 says they cover the face of the judges, it doesn't just mean that, you saw it on painted over the image of the Most High and His Son to make them look like Him. But now He is impersonating the judges. So this is the book of Job 9 verse 24. The earth is given into the hand of the wicked. He covereth the faces of the judges thereof. If not, where and who is He? So now He's impersonating and pretending to be the people of the Lord, pretending to be Jake, right, with the small hearts. And even these, regular Edomites as well are doing the exact same thing. They are pretending to be the righteous of the earth, to be the people of the Lord. And that is the greatest, that's blasphemy of the Holy Spirit first and foremost, but the greatest deceit that Esau Edom has pulled on the earth, right, is by lifting himself up as the image of the Most High and His Son. And ultimately, that means he lifted himself up as the people of the Lord, and making us the Israelites. Because what you have to understand is that in this kingdom, whatever Esau Edom presents or appears as in this kingdom, and no marvel, for Satan is disguised as an angel of the light, as it is written. Juxtaposed to that, our people, the Israelites, the so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native American Indians have to appear, in the opposite way. So if if Esau Edom is seen as the children of Lord of God, right, like the representation of the Most High on the earth, our people will be seen as the representation of evil and the devil on the earth, which is why for some time the narrative was being pushed by Esau Edom that Jake, for the most part, were all sons of Ham, specifically Canaan, which was what they used to justify the slave trade. But they can't use that anymore, because you have to understand that you're doing that people, because of our people being in the presence of Canaan, of the Canaanites, right? Going back to the time of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, before our people now moved over to the land of Israel. What made Canaan great was our people as well, right? The reason why you have, Esau them talking about, oh, well, the Phoenician Hebrew originated from Canaan, right? The first writing system originated from Canaan. It wasn't from Canaan, it was from our people, right? From Shem, from Noah to Shem, all the way to Abraham. And because the Canaanites spoke the same language, because during the ancient world, everybody in the Middle East all basically spoke the same language, because the Canaanites they dwelt in that land. They were the first people to dwell in that land. This is all going into that history. They were the first people to dwell in that land. So Israel is now giving them the credit for developing that language, right? So, and now basically now the Canaanites have become Edomites as well. And that is, just an example of the deceit that Esau Edom has pushed on the earth. There is so much, so much, so much more. Okay, how he has, let's get that. How he has turned evil to good. And let's get that. We want to then that make evil good, and make, let's get that. Isaiah 5 verse 20. Woe unto them that call evil good and good evil, that put darkness for light and light for darkness, that put bitter for sweet and sweet for bitter. Woe unto them that are wise in their own eyes and prudent in their own sight. And that's exactly what Esau has done. Another one of his deceits. put folly, as the scriptures say. Folly is set in great dignity, and the rich sits in a low place. He has put wickedness, folly, complete foolishness, utter madness, and he has made it to. He has promoted it. He promotes it. He pushes it. He glorifies it. That's the best term to use. From feminism to the alternative lifestyles, and to rebellion against the Most High Yahweh Basham Yahushai, by committing all kinds of wickedness and all kinds of evils against the laws of the Most High Yahweh Basham Yahushai. Now he has deceived the people into following, and into drinking that his unsavory, evil wine, right? Even the scriptures tell you about that as well. Who wants him that giveth his neighbor drink, right? Let me get that. And looketh upon his nakedness, which is exactly what Esau Edom has done. Which is why, and I'll give you an example of that. Why you saw, the US with Kamala Harris, with Joe Biden coming to Africa to try to promote the LGBTQ agenda. Because ultimately, this is what Esau Edom pushes throughout the earth. That is America's great export: wickedness. Habakkuk 2 verse 15. Woe unto him that giveth his neighbor drink, that puttest thy bottle to him, and makest him drunken also, that thou mayest look upon their nakedness, on their nakedness. But now, you can clearly see, just starting from the men of the Lord, the men of great millstone on down, Esau Edom's deceit, his lies are being revealed little by little. And that makes you want to go, and you can already know where we are going. Second Thessalonians, the second chapter, because these are the signs of the end. Second Thessalonians 2, verse 3. Let no man deceive you by any means, for that day shall not come except there come a falling away first, and that man of sin be revealed, the son of perdition, who opposeth and exalteth himself above all that is called God, all that is worshipped, so that he has the Most High, seated in the temple of the Most High, showing himself that he is the Most High. And this is what has happened on the earth, right? Because of the God complex of these devils, right? And that's why I was telling you that they have made themselves out to be the representation of the Most High on the earth. And subconsciously, all the people of this world, they worship Esau Edom, okay? They worship these devils. By following, that's why the scriptures talk about worshiping the beast and his image. By following the wine and the philosophies and the doctrine of Esau Edom, they are worshiping these devils. But thanks be to the Most High Yahweh Basham Yahushua that has given us this truth. Now, people all over the world are waking up and seeing Esau Edom for what they truly are, for who he truly is, which is the base man on the earth. And now his deceit can no longer hold any water. I recently did a video about how even the heathen are starting to see through these devils, right? You had that Moabite looking woman, which she could be a Jake, of course, but this Moabite looking woman that are basically calling Esau Edom out and airing out his dirty laundry, which is all the things that the men of the Lord have been doing for decades, right? We've been calling these devils out for their deceit for decades, and all the lies that they push, you know, in this, all lies that they push shamelessly. And the way these Edomites push these lies shamelessly for decades, now there is no longer, now Esau Edom and his deceits are no longer, you know, the world no longer be deceived the by these devils, man. Because we that are in this truth, the Lord have brought out the information, have brought out the truth. So now the deceit can no longer stand. The deceit can no longer stand. The lies can no longer stand, because the lies cannot stand before the truth. And we already know. No, let's get that piece as well. Just to close, and we'll close out with this. We know. Let's close out with this. The wicked are estranged from the womb. That's right. They come out as soon as they be born, speaking lies. Psalms 58, verse 3. The wicked are estranged from the womb. They go astray as soon as they be born, speaking lies. And this is why, we know that. And we can also go to, I believe that is John 8, verse 44. You have your father the devil, and the lust of your father he will do. He was a liar in the beginning, and abode not in the truth, because he is not of the truth, right? because Esau Edom ultimately is the father of lies. His modus operandi, the two weapons that the Most High gave him is his deceit and the sword, right? The two blessings, his deceit, his lies, and his sword. Which is why these devils, they always push lies, because these devils, they can't go without lying. They can't go without hiding the truth, deceiving the people and deceiving the world. That was what they were put on this earth to do, to deceive the nations, deceive the people, and ultimately give them that wine, that wickedness that all the world is drunk with, which is why the scriptures say the nations are drunk of our wine, therefore the nations are mad. And the time is come, and we're in that period right now where the nations are becoming to be, where nations are, you're getting riled up, right? You're getting mad at Babylon the Great, which is why you see them opting out of the dollar, opting out of the Federal Reserve currency as the dollar, because even the scriptures say they that were at peace with thee. Let me get that. The ones of thy confederacy, that is in the book of Obadiah. The men of thy confederacy, yes, yes, yeah, that is it, that is it. I believe that should be Obadiah. The men of thy confederacy are against thee. Here it is, Obadiah 1 verse 6. How are the things of Esau searched out? How are his hidden things sought up? All the men of thy confederacy have brought thee even to the border. The men that were at peace with thee have deceived thee and prevailed against thee. They that eat thy bread have laid a wound under thee. There is none understanding in him. So even those that were aligned with these devils, right, they are quote unquote allies who come against them. The other nations that are aligned with them at this time, right, to following in their agenda and drinking the wine, eventually they will turn against Esau Edom. As the scriptures say, they shall hate the whore and burn her with fire. They will ultimately turn against Esau Edom, turn against America, Babylon the Great, and shoot missiles on her, wage war on the America, Babylon the Great, and that time is coming as well when these devils' deceits have been exposed, you know, even more than it already is right now, because there are still so many more secrets that are about to be revealed. And every day that goes by, you hear more and more of the evil that these devils have done all throughout the earth. So, with that, I'll end the video right there. All praises, honor, and glory unto Yahweh, Ba'asham Yahweh Shai, Ba'asham Rakak, Wadash, Wa Abad Babal, and through the Spirit, I hope you are coming, you are quite edified. Shalom.